So I'm sure you're wondering at the title of this video, a 2018 Toyota Highlander. You're behind the times, Alex. What are you doing, dude? Well, I figured why not give the folks who are looking for a used car a chance to get an idea of what that used car might be like if they decide to go through and buy one, and let them know how it's held up, what it's like now, how does the material feel 2 years into being used, and what are some of the specs and the things they can expect when they go to a used car lot and find one of their own. This is a 2018 Toyota Highlander Limited Platinum all-wheel drive. It is the top tier of all the configurations that Toyota offered on this 2018 Highlander model. And don't forget, Toyota has the highest resale value of any car manufacturer on the market today, which is such a great peace of mind whenever you are buying a used car. So we'll give you a tour of the entire outside, the inside of this vehicle, let you know what it's like to get a 2-year-old used Highlander out on the road, and maybe if it's the right fit for your family. Please hit the like button on this video if it's helpful for you. Let us know in the comments below what other kind of used car reviews you might want to see. And hopefully it becomes a perfect used car buying guide if you're looking into one of these 2018 Toyota Highlanders. Let's get going. So this Highlander may not be a Jeep Wrangler or something crazy, but it does have that sophisticated all-wheel drive system, that hill descent assist, the hill hold, and this nice 8 inches of ground clearance. A little more capable off-road than the average family hauler. Lots of things to keep you in off-terrain environments safe and in control of your car. The 2018 Highlanders came with like 7 different trim levels available, with like 13 or 14 different like engine configurations on top of that. This again has the V6 engine, which is good for 295 horsepower. The base model, the LE, came with a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder pumping out 185 horsepower. Other reviews I've read say that 4-cylinder engine is kind of a bummer of a powerhouse, not much power at all. But the V6 definitely has some nice get up and go, some pull to it. And if you get the all-wheel drive option, definitely that more sophisticated all-wheel drive system for the more inclement off-road terrain type of driving. This engine good for 20 miles per gallon city, 26 miles per gallon highway. And also all V6s across all trim levels are capable of up to 5,000 pounds towing capacity as long as your car is properly equipped. So getting into this thing, it actually feels like, I can only describe it as kind of like a Lexus Light, for the sole reason of, look at all the details everywhere. I mean, beautiful kind of wood grain on the side doors there, a nice thick leather wrapped steering wheel here, and also just a kind of swooping nice design on the center dashboard, the center console here with a nice 8.5-inch touchscreen here. Let's also talk about real quick before we get into any other details, this nice camel colored kind of like baseball glove brown leather. It is super soft. I mean, look at this. Look how much you can squeeze it. I mean, it's just insane. It's so soft, so supple, and it's really held up really nicely over the years and 24,000 miles. Nice perforated leather here because this one does have, you guessed it, ventilated front seats in addition to being already heated seats. Those little knobs are actually right over here. Just look how easy they are to actually move too. I mean, you just scroll through the different settings. There's 3 levels for heated seats, 3 levels for ventilated seats, and that's for both the driver and the passenger. The buttons are super easy to find. They're right there, right at your fingertips, right by the gear shifter. Let's also talk too about the technology that's by the gear shifter. You've got all kinds of different options here for the 4-wheel drive system, the downhill assist. You've got your snow settings for that inclement weather. Nice kind of stability control button for those instances you want to get unstuck. You got to maybe disengage that. The only thing I don't like is look down there. That's where the USB ports are. Look how tough those are to reach. I mean, I'm doing it not even driving or even strapped in, and they're really kind of tough to even know they're there or even maybe get a cord into, because guess what? The gear shifter is in the way as well. It's super awkward. I don't know why Toyota put them right there. But one of the things Toyota did do really well was there's a pass-through actually right there. Do you see that? All your cords can come up through there, and then you can lay your phone or any kind of device right here on this long kind of dashboard stretching little storage shelf. It's right underneath everything. It's kind of hidden really, really well. It almost looks like a solid piece until you realize your hand can go in there. and it goes back rather deep. Let's see if my camera can focus on it. I know it won't, it's too dark. But it's such a long shelf, lots of different phones, different gadgets could fit there. Right below, of course, the center console. The center console here, large up top, really, really large and commanding, definitely within your view. The only thing that kind of sucks is they're kind of hard to reach. They're not really within easy arm reach. They're not, a mile away, but they're also not as close as I would want them to be. But what is really cool, check this out. Touching the home button, you don't even have to push it. You just tap it and it changes to whatever you want it to be. But you can also have the car recognize your voice. It gives you like 10 sentences to read out loud, and then by the end of those sentences, it recognizes and knows your voice. Pretty kind of cool for a 2-year-old car. Let's go back to the setup screen and go to the vehicle setup. Vehicle's right there, vehicle customization, and then look at this. You can change when the doors lock, when you put it in park, take it out of park, climate settings, light settings for the exterior lighting, the lighting inside. But this is my favorite one because it's 2 years old. Remember this. You can adjust how high the rear tailgate goes. Look at that. Low, a little bit higher, medium, medium high, and the whole way up. That's where I have it right now. And of course, beneath that, you've got all your buttons for your climate control. You can sync it up. I got it on low AC right now, different fan speeds. Over here, you've got your rear climate control and your rear kind of options as well, which is really nice too, because look how far back this thing goes. It goes back really kind of far. The third row is down right now. Let's also check out the doors. What do they sound like whenever you close them 2 years later? It's a perfect thunk. And again, since this is a family hauler, you gotta have some family touches, right? Check this out. Right up here, let me turn the camera around. You've got a nice rear view mirror option to check out what the kids are doing in the back seat. It pops out right from the top center part where the buttons are for the panoramic sunroof. It's not the best quality plastic I've ever felt in the world, but it does the job for right now. And check this out, a large central console that splits open like this. Just push the front and the back down, and it's nice and deep. Look how far down my hand goes in there. It's actually down pretty far, which is great. You've got a nice 12-volt outlet as well, in case you want to plug something in down there. On the steering wheel here, which I just absolutely love, you've got your nice buttons for your audio here. You've got your voice control buttons. Hanging up of the phone, picking up of the phone. Over here as well, this button kind of scrolls through all your options at the top of the gauge cluster. Right now you're getting your miles per gallon. You've got your range. You can go to your different mileage, your eco indicator, your all-wheel drive control, your sway warning. Basically, the car will let you know if you're swaying too much in and out of the lines. Down here, you've got a safety suite of options. This comes with Toyota Safety Sense. It's a bundle that gives you lane departure warning. It's got front crash mitigation. All Highlanders come with this regardless of what trim level you get. And over here, all kinds of buttons for your controls that aren't climate or audio related. You've got your headlights, you've got your auto on and off at a stopping light, you've got your camera view. Let's push that camera button. Watch this. When you push that camera view, your center screen gives you a 360 view of everything around you. It's got cameras everywhere. This is so when you're backing out of some place, or I don't know, trying to pull out of a spot, you have an idea of what is around you. Is there a small child who's ducked away? There's a small animal, or maybe a trash can you don't want to hit. It really is an awesome option. Push it again to double check again if you want to check it out one more time before pulling away. A really brilliant option on this 2018 vehicle. I just think it's amazing Toyota put this on this Highlander Limited Platinum option. Back over here at the buttons though, a quick liftgate button. You've got your heated steering wheel control. Again, here, heated steering wheel is only on the higher trim levels like this Platinum Limited one, but tons of options which are just great for a used family hauler. What's also really great for families, I think, is the auto up and down all around windows. Just one touch up and down and the window goes up or down. Really, really great all around thing. That's a luxury touch that not every Toyota comes with. You've got your memory seats up there as well. 2 settings, just brilliant kind of options in a 2-year-old car. Nice wood grain inserts here on the door. One of the other things I really love too, this kind of nice soft leather stitched kind of dashboard. It's not real leather, it's kind of like leather imitation, but it's nice to the touch, really nice and soft. Isn't bent or bowed over the years because of all the sunlight that it's been, having come down on it. It's really, really nice, held up really well. One more safety thing, look at that right there. Can you see that? The red lights right there in the dash kind of tell you what seats aren't buckled yet. And let's also talk about the JBL premium sound system. It's beautiful. It sounds amazing. Crystal clear, nice thunk, nice whenever the bass hits. You guys know I love my audio and my music. There's no rattles. The speakers are still nice and crisp and clear. Nothing crazy to report about those, at least in this model. But JBL is a brilliant option. And there's always a concern too whenever things are used, do they still work? Let's try out the sunshade. Push the sunshade button back. The answer is yes, it does. Look at this, a large panoramic sunroof that goes all the way back to the third row, and that sunshade just opens it up for all kinds of sunlight, starlight at night. The one thing I don't like is that you have to hold your hand on the sunshade for it to close the whole way. It doesn't go on itself like with a one-touch auto close the entire length. You gotta freaking hold your finger there. So stepping into the second row, there are captain's chairs in here, and they're just as soft and as supple as the front seats. They're not ventilated, but they are heated. You've got nice controls down here for all different options for your fan speed, the actual temperature itself, the high-low settings for the heated seats. You've also got, watch this, my favorite thing in the whole world, rear sunshades. These have been around for a long time. I'm glad that Toyota put these in this car. There are larger cars, more expensive luxury cars that don't have rear sunshades, even these nice, easy, accessible manual ones, which I don't understand. And also here in the back seat, you've got a nice center aisle to walk through to get to the third row. It's a little tight back there. Adults aren't going to be really at home at all. Definitely perfect though for the kids. 3 children can fit back there relatively comfortably. These seats, these captain's chairs, actually recline. A nice little handle here on the side. Oh, come with me on this journey. Ready? Oh, here we go. It's perfect. As long as there isn't a menacing little annoying brother or sister in the back, you can have your reclining. These captain's chairs are actually an option on the Highlander. These come with a standard bench seat, but these captain's chairs were added, and actually I like them just as much, if not better, than the full bench seat. With the bench seat, there is room in this car for 8 people, but with the captain's chairs, there's only room for 7. In between these seats here, by the way, the captain's chairs, there's a nice little tray for cup holders. Nice options here all around for the second row passengers and their comfort. You've got your nice, look at that, perfectly placed vents. Come with me down here real quick. Look at this. These seats recline, as I said, and they go back and forth to give you more leg space or walking space depending on what you need to do. This is perfect for the second row seats. If you've got larger children, taller children, this is the perfect setting for you. So accessing the third row isn't all that difficult either. Take a look at this. Watch this. Right in here, if you are going to be using this as a family hauler, let's pull up on this plastic handle here. The seat folds forward and actually slides forward at the push of a hand, and then you can walk through this rather tight space to get to the third row seat. But look at this. It only takes one quick push and the seat is up. It's not difficult at all. Same for the other side. Now, as I said, if you try to sit down there, which I'm going to do in a second, it's a little tight if you're as tall as I am. Here I go. Let's climb in together. Okay. Oh, look at that nice leather though, as I'm trying to fit my big self in here. Pull back on the seat. Yeah, look at my feet. There's just no way this is gonna work. I'm way too tall. But again, this is not meant for 3 adults to fit back here. It's meant for smaller children. Got your cargo space back there. There's the subwoofer I was talking about. But it's still a nice design, but you just gotta know who's gonna be the ones that fit back here if you're buying this for a family. Overall though, I mean, I do love the look of the third row seat. They've definitely given the same amount of attention to detail and premium quality leather as the other seats in the car. Look at that. They look brilliant, don't they? They just are a little too small. And a little bit of a slimmer bottom cushion, which makes sense to, you know, save on cargo space and make sure you have more room to store things. And when you need to put the third row seat down, watch this. Look at this. My hand, pull this up, and it goes down just like that. It takes a millisecond to do. It's not difficult at all. The quality of this car has not suffered or really kind of gone downhill at all in 2 years. I've only been driving it for a few hours now, but it really is in great, amazing shape, considering that it's got 24,000 miles on it. So one of the big things with families as well is the fact that they always have to haul stuff, and easy access is huge. Watch this. whenever you go down to the back of the car here, there's a little teeny button. Can you see this? Right there. You push this button and all it does is pop up the glass pane. So you can actually store things or grab things, throw things in without actually ever opening up the entire lift gate. And then of course, whenever you're done, just push the panel down and it locks back up and you're good to go. Of course, the full-on tailgate right back here, just push the underside button and it will automatically open by itself. And remember too, you can set the height of this thing to be at different heights depending on what you need it to be. And if you're looking for a roomier third row, the Honda Pilot and the Volkswagen Atlas, both SUVs and with third rows, do have larger third rows with more legroom and just overall space. This is a bit tight back here, as I said, but it's still a nice third row option, just not as roomy as those competitors might be. And this car has rear cross traffic alert as well. As I'm backing up here to go out onto the road, a car was passing by me and the car beeped. You heard that. As you try to get out of parking spaces in this, it actually is really easy. A lot of SUVs with these bigger wheels maybe don't have the same kind of range of motion, but this has incredible range of motion. It goes left and right pretty far, a lot of turns, which makes getting in and out of parking spaces or tight spots in a city relatively easy. Well, I'm just drawn to how quiet this thing is. Toyota and Lexus are great at padding their interiors and keeping their cars isolated in their cabins kind of quiet and removed from the outside world. Let's give an idea of what this engine sounds like, shall we? Yeah, has a nice powerful V6 engine. It sounds awesome too. It really has a nice pull to it off the line and extends high up into the RPMs, which is just great because if you're hauling a lot of stuff, you need a lot of get up and go, a lot of get up and go power as well. One of the other things too I'm noticing as we go over bumps here is just how firm and kind of solid the suspension feels. It's not a soft kind of lofty, cushiony ride because that's not the kind of car you're driving. It's got nice stiff suspension, which is good and firm, and the car feels very planted on the ground. The handling of it, again, very precise. I mean, just minimal movement, and you can see the car kind of just moving as I just gently touch the steering wheel. And I'm just kind of looking around as I'm driving here, just kind of gawking at the quality of materials and how they don't even look like they've been used in 2 years. Nothing is squeaking or making odd, moaning noises or bumping, grinding noises whenever you go over a bump. Sometimes body panels and screws can come loose. Not the case in this model at all. It really is quiet as can be. There's just nothing really to complain about as far as did the craftsmanship held up? The answer is yeah, I think it did. The leather isn't like creased or folded in or scratched in any area, which also could mean the owners took care of it, but it also could just mean the quality of the material is that good, and I think that's probably the case. Let's go over some of my pros again, some of the things I loved about this car after my few hours of driving. The brilliant resale value. Again, Toyota has the top resale value of any car manufacturer in the industry. So that's exactly why this car is only about $10,000 less than its sticker price back in 2018. It started around $46,000. You can get one of these now with 20,000 miles on it for about $37,000 bucks. I also love the brilliant leather inside of this thing, kind of a baseball glove brown. Like I said before, it's cushiony, it's soft, it's brilliantly amended to the body. It conforms to you. One of the other things I love about this car too is that the technology has held up. It's not outdated. Sometimes after 1 or 2 model years, the technology in a car might be outdated and no longer useful or no longer work the way it was supposed to, or it looks uber awkward. In this car, not really the case. It's got tons of options like I showed you. Some of the cons, not a big fan of the location of the buttons on the center console. They feel like they're a world away. No Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto on any trim level, which is not a good thing. A lot of cars 2 or 3 years ago all had Apple CarPlay or Android Auto as an option, let alone many of them were standard. Not even an option on any of the Highlanders. Not sure what Toyota was thinking with that one. Accessing the USB ports, like I showed you, is really kind of tough. It's like hidden way under the center console there, right in front of the gear shifter, so it's just really tough and awkward to reach. Don't like that. And again, a third row, accessing it and sitting in it is really small and kind of tedious and tight. Not meant for adults at all. Definitely the case, the space rather, for children and some smaller kids at that. But that is a quick review of a 2018 Toyota Highlander, a used car, my first kind of used car review, because not everyone, again, is looking for a brand new car and can't afford a brand new car. And I hope you enjoyed me showing you how the car held up after all these miles and all these years, only 2 years and 25,000 miles, which isn't bad at all. Toyotas go forever. So let's talk about what else you want to see. Any other cars you're looking to buy? Any other used cars you're looking to see? What other kind of reviews of a used vehicle do you want to check out? I'll try to track them down for you. Let me know in the comments below. Hit this with a like button if you could, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I appreciate any and all support so far. But I think that's it from this Toyota Highlander SUV. We will see you, you guessed it, next time.